And we're back, and we just finished watching 2016, The Edge of 17, written and directed by Kelly Fremon Craig. The story follows a couple of days in the life of Nadine, a high schooler who is
an annoying, stupid brat.
Yes, what G said. We saw this on the Showtime app. Is that where we saw it?
Yes.
TBS. On TBS.
Oh, TBS.
Sorry,
Correct.
TBS.
Thanks, girls. Wow, that memory is the first thing to go. It is available for rent on several platforms, but we saw it on the TBS app.
Because it was cheap and
yes, we didn't have to pay for it. The movie clocks in at 1 hour and 44 minutes. It's rated R, and it is a comedy drama. I'm going to go around the table and get some impressions. Olive G, what did you think about this movie?
I thought Nadine was a hot mess.
She was a hot mess. That is a perfect way to describe her.
She was a slinky that had been thrown around in tangles and put in some person's hair and was thrown into dirty water.
All right,
how long is this metaphor going?
I was going to say, that's pretty crazy descriptive, but okay, I'll allow it. Did you have a favorite character in this movie?
No.
No? Did you have a favorite scene in this movie? Did you like the movie?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. What about you?
I like this movie.
I like this movie too.
She is, as Olive said, a hot mess. You could see that there's some, I guess, personality issues going on. Even as a child, she was sort of more withdrawn. As she grew up, I think it just got worse. I think her situation made it even worse. She definitely had just this jealousy of her brother.
Her mom hated her a little.
No, her mom didn't. Her mom didn't hate her.
She
I think her mom
didn't
get along.
They didn't get along. They didn't know how to communicate to each other.
Yeah, the mom wanted her to be normal,
or wanted her to be more like Darian.
Wanted her to be more like her brother was no sweat. It was just like
perfect child.
The perfect child, and then Nadine was just
a hot mess.
Drama on drama on drama, and it really was all of Nadine's own creation.
Yes.
I will say, I don't think this film is really for children Olive's age.
Yes.
I would not let your child watch this movie.
My kids, both of them, cringed. There are some cringy bits in here.
Remember when she sent that guy that message? That was
let's not talk about that.
Yes, that was nuts. Gigi, what did you think?
This movie was cringy.
It was cringy.
It was cringy crap.
There were several scenes in here where, both girls were, hiding behind the throw pillows on the couch. It was pretty funny. And I have to admit, the first time I saw it, too, I had the same reaction, oh my god.
What
was it good cringy or bad cringy?
It was pretty bad cringy.
You don't like this movie?
Bad cringy.
Yeah. I don't.
You don't have to like it.
The times I was laughing, I was just trying to laugh to drown out the noise because it got really bad.
Remember when I was just singing a bunch of nonsense into a pillow and saying weird stuff? And for some reason, I just kept on jumping on pillows and making an obstacle course for myself.
I don't.
Yeah, I think I told both girls this is a template of how not to be as a teenager.
But in that there could be a lesson there because one thing that kids, especially teenagers, indulge in is basically thinking of themselves as the center of the universe, where everybody's looking at me, everybody's talking about me, woe is me. There's a lot of that when you're that age.
Sure.
The world revolves around me because I'm so important and I'm the only one who has these problems in life.
Mm-hmm. You take yourself very, very seriously, and I think the lesson here is the sooner you realize that you don't need to take yourself that seriously, because nobody is really paying that much attention to you.
Right, because everyone's got their own thing.
The sooner you realize that I don't have to take yourself that seriously, it lifts such a weight off your shoulders.
And it's such a great realization to come to.
Yes.
I think...
And certain people never come to it.
Yeah.
They live that way their entire life.
lives.
Other people...
Come to
Learn
it.
that.
When that light bulb finally goes off, it's just like, oh, God.
What the hell have I been doing
It's like one of the reasons why you often look back upon your teenage years and think, God, I was such a moron. And when you're a teenager, you're just like, I know everything, and they're all fools.
Yes.
I know everything. My parents are all wrong about me doing drugs and going to parties and dating boys.
There's no...
And just going streaking in parks.
What?
There
and
wasn't
skinny dipping.
There wasn't any of that in the movie.
There wasn't any of that in the movie. But there were
And
some...
taking pictures of myself like,
There were some very,
famous.
very cringy moments that even as an adult, I was sitting there. It was especially like the first time I saw this movie, I was like, oh my God. And then I think I told you about it.
Yeah.
Right?
And I watched it.
And then you watched it.
Full agreement.
Oh my goodness.
Very, very cringy moments.
Very, very cringy moments. But it's funny because as an adult, I feel like, to backtrack a little bit, everyone in this, acting-wise, is solid. Solid.
Yeah.
The Woody Harrelson character is like one of my favorite things. Woody Harrelson plays her teacher, and he basically, she always comes for him, but I feel like he also pushes back and almost enjoys knocking her down a peg or two, but he's one of those people that basically says to her, how about you take the afternoon off? Go buy yourself some frozen yogurt and just go relax, right?
Well, I got the feeling that he really wanted her to understand pretty much what I just said.
Yeah.
You know, stop taking yourself so seriously.
Right.
Because with like the first interaction you see with them, and she walks into the room, she says, "I'm going to kill myself."
Right. I don't know how this works, but I felt like an adult should know this. Which is just, she is so over the top. Like, consistently. Even her brother, when they're arguing, he's like, you're so dramatic. Yeah. You're so dramatic.
And
she really is.
Harrelson's character handles it like so well. He's like, well, you know what? I was just in here writing my own suicide note. His character was like, to me, he was, I love Nadine, even though she was a hot mess, but after Nadine, I think Woody Harrelson's character was really great, and the kid who played Irwin, oh my God, what was his name? Hayden Szeto? I can't even say his last name, but he was fantastic.
Yeah.
The boy that made the animated movie, that's kind of about her.
Yeah.
Her friend Krista, played by Lu Richardson. Darian, Blake Jenner, was amazing. Her mother Mona, played by Kyra Sedgwick.
Mona Lisa?
No. Just really, really solid performances. And definitely, I think, as a younger person, this might be too much, but I think as someone who's older, who's lived through it, it's definitely like I wouldn't say a fun watch, but it's something that
puts your life into perspective.
I don't know about that, but it's like a good, it's funny, it's sad, it's poignant, and I think as someone who's lived that, it's sort of like a refreshing reminder of where you were and where you are now.
Yeah,
and
there was a scene where I was like, I did identify with her. The scene where she goes to the party, and then she goes into the bathroom, and she's sort of like talking to herself in the mirror. And like, I've been there. Yeah. I've done that exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you just relax and enjoy yourself?
Yeah.
Because I've been invited to parties, and I had terrible like social anxiety where it just sounds like you're in a room and it just sounds like you just hear static. You know, you can't really focus on conversations. You just feel horribly uncomfortable, and she played that very well. Yeah. Just standing
Hailee
like near the
Steinfeld
wall
is just
and like
amazing.
trying to look casual when you feel like just exploding out of your skin at that particular point in time.
Right. Another great scene is like towards the end when her and Darian sort of reconcile.
Yeah.
And when he blows up with her at her, and she basically like comes to this understanding of his position. Because he was put in a very awkward spot, right? Because he's between the mother and her, kind of being the referee, the dad role, forced into this. There's this great scene where the mother calls Darian while he's at a date or something, some kind of function, right? With his friends.
Yeah, it was in like a restaurant or something.
And he's like, he comes running home, and she's just venting at him, and he's like, well, what do you want me to do? And she's like, well, I'm the adult. And he's like, then why am I involved?
Yeah, why do you keep calling?
Why do you keep calling me? And in that moment, she also has a realization, right? How unfair she's been. And then when he blows up at Nadine, and she, like, you see her face, she's shell-shocked at what he's said to her.
Yeah, because she's
And
never
it's
really seen
devastating,
it.
'cause
She's
she's
never really
never-
seen it
yeah.
through his eyes.
Right.
And he lays it out for her.
Right. And then at the end, when she goes to make peace with him, was lovely too. Because she, and kind of circling back to something that you said in that speech, she basically says, I used to think that this pain made me special. That no one else would feel or be in this, you know, she just sees Darian in his superficial, like, oh, he's this good looking, popular boy that fits in, that's always fit in, and I'm just this freak show that no one loves. But she's
the only one who sees the world for as it truly is.
Right. And she herself self-sabotages at every turn. Yeah, growing up is tough, and as a young person, it's hard to maneuver because I think I've mentioned this before. When you're a teenager, you're not an adult, but you're not a child. You're sort of in this weird gray area. And at 17, like you said, I'm 100% sure I was that way too at 17. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. I knew everything. And I made a lot of stupid choices, just like Nadine. Nothing that cringeworthy, thank God. And the other thing that I thought was interesting, this movie came out in 2016. She did have a phone, but she didn't seem so reliant on the phone. Like, nowadays you see kids and they're just completely glued.
Well, they were still using flip phones. In that movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, I don't think anybody had like an iPhone.
Yeah, they had those QWERTY keys, or you had to press the same button. Yeah, so I guess that makes sense. But it's just
phones
interesting.
were a lot less fun than they are now.
Than they are now. Right, now, 'cause now they're mini computers, right?
Now they're mini. You
yeah,
the
before
internet,
it was like Morse code.
Yeah.
None of the fun graphics.
If you wanted a C, you had to press A 3 times.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I've always liked this movie, and even though I've seen it multiple times since the first time, obviously I think the first time is always like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just so cringy, but it still speaks to me as a person who was in that position, as a person who consistently fought with her mother, as a person that really felt out of place, that kind of had to navigate her young adult life without any kind of guidance. It's a hard position to be in, especially when you think that everything and everyone is against you. And I think the messages in this movie are so lovely. So just go with it, right? And just be yourself, love yourself, but be also open to other things. That Nadine absolutely was into self-sabotage, whether she knew it or not.
Yeah.
What else?
I don't think there's really that much else to say. It covered everything. I mean, the performances were all excellent.
Excellent.
The story was good. Yeah,
Hailee is just one of the more phenomenal young actresses.
She is great. Yeah.
Really like seeing her. I mean, I just recently watched her in that Romeo and Juliet, the newer version that came out. She really is magnificent. I can't wait to see her in the Hawkeye Marvel series that's coming out. Yeah, she's always a treat to watch. I mean, whether it was True Grit, she did with Jeff Bridges way back when, to her later stuff. I think she's doing like that Dickinson, or what's the last thing she did on Apple TV? What is that called?
I think it is called Dickinson.
Dickinson, yeah, about Emily Dickinson. I think it's like, it's not, I'm sure it's embellished, but whatever. Bumblebee, she's
fighting vampires or something.
No. I think it's, I don't know what it is, but it's supposed to be a more modern take on Dickinson.
Historical figures of fighting supernatural beasts.
Okay, so I'll go around the table and get numbers. G, scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this movie?
I think I'd give this movie a 5.
A 5? Okay. Not
What
the
about
worst.
Jesus Christ Vampire Slayer?
Maybe we'll watch it this year for Halloween. How about you, Olive G? 1 to 10. What would you give this number? This movie. What number?
A 6.
A 6.
I didn't really like it.
Okay.
I'd give this thing an 8.
I too would give this thing an 8. Really sharp writing, phenomenal acting, great directing, good cinematography, great costuming. It really felt like teenagers and stuff. Yeah, I mean, just it hit all the buttons. Really, really sharp writing. And again, I think I've mentioned this before. If you don't have good writing, you don't really have a good story to tell. And I think this could have been like $50 million production, or it could have been a $500,000 production. But I think the writing really, really set it apart. And just having these really great actors live these stories. Phenomenal work. My hat's off to the director, Kelly Fremon Craig, who, let's see, has she done anything else?
Did she also write it?
She did. She wrote and directed it. Something in pre-production, Judy Blume. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. My favorite Judy Blume book. I will definitely be on the lookout for it. Oh, Rachel McAdams, Kathy Bates. Interesting, according to her IMDb page. Okay, well, that's it from us. If you get a chance to read it, watch it. Oh my God. I'm so confused.
Jeez.
If you get a chance to watch it, please check out The Edge of 17 from 2016. Oh my God.
I can't even say the name of the movie.
Is it time for that? As we close out Women's International History Month.
National History Month.
This is the last Friday of March, honoring women, and this really fun, really sharp, really witty piece by Kelly Fremon Craig is definitely a must-watch, I think.
Yeah, I recommend it.
I recommend it highly, too.
I don't recommend it highly.
Yeah,
Alright,
don't watch it with your kids.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cussing in this. A lot of cussing.
Maybe you could watch it with your older teens.
Yeah, I think maybe 15 and up, because I think they would get it. Like, yeah. Sexual situations. Implied sexual. Nothing happens.
Is seen.
You don't
There's
see
no
anything.
Nudity.
There's no nudity, right? But
yeah. There's definitely some talk.
There's some talk and there's some situations that arise. But yeah, a ton of profanity. But this is how kids talk. Don't you act like you don't know what I'm talking about.
So the F word, the S word, the B word, the A word, the C word.
I don't remember all that, but anyway.
The whole list.
Yeah, we'll let the adults decide if they want to watch this. But I highly, highly recommend it. Okay, so that's it from us.
And that's how the news goes.
You said it wrong, Olivia.
Okay. I don't know what's going on.
That's the way the news goes.
Okay.
Good night.
So, good night. We'll come back soon with another review.
Please.